Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. In order to give a boost to our spiritual journey, the Almighty Lord of the Universe has been extremely gracious enough to make us to dwell on the characteristics of a man of steady wisdom. As we all know, every day we have to meet with the different types of situations. However much we try to hold on to the spiritual values which we get inspired, still there are many moments when we are likely to go off the track. So that is why probably he chose that we should take up this 18 stanzas in chapter number 2 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna, on behalf of all of us, is praising this particular problem before the Lord, the indwelling Spirit. Okay, in order to enable me to idealize the man of steady wisdom, kindly tell me, how does he walk, how does he talk, how does he move about? How do I know that he is a man of steady wisdom, so that I will be able to imbibe, inculcate? So when we remove Arjuna and Lord Krishna from the scene, we know now that each one of us is asking this question to the indwelling reality. How to make myself steady in your remembrance? Every time, though intellectually I know you are there, when you make me to deal with anything other than me, men and matters, you are not there, only I am there. And because of that, I change my colors. At times I am highly sattvic, at times I am rajasic, at times I am tamasic. Even if I know that it is not right, I fall into that. Then again I realize, so kindly give me something by which I will hold on to the values, so that I will be able to steadily move towards your remembrance. This is the question. We are redrafting the question. And what did they do? How did he start? Prajahari yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyev atmanatushtaha sthita prajnastharuchati. That is how the Lord starts answering. When one completely casts away, O Partha, all the desires of the mind, satisfied in the self, alone by the self, then he or she is said to be one of steady wisdom. Actually, if we keep on dwelling on this is enough. 18 stanzas are not needed, because it has been put in one beautiful capsule form. When I become full with him, not because of any other external factors, satisfied in the self, by the self, that is my original nature. I am full, I am complete. and everything is there. No deficiency is there, insufficiency is there, inadequacy is there, incompleteness is there. I should somehow, yeah. When that stage is reached, I become a steady man of steady wisdom. This is how the Lord starts. Desire means, something to make us full. I feel incomplete. The moment I see a sense object through my sense organs, immediately the sense of completeness fades away, as it were, and I still crave for something and make it full. So here he says, when there are no desires, and satisfied in the self by the self, that should also be there. And such a person is a man of steady wisdom. So always let us think about this word, Purna, Purna, Purna. Here or hereafter, there is nothing for me to attain. Because I am all full. And then he starts amplifying it one by one. So the first and foremost thing is that he wants us to know our real core of our being. What is the real core of our being? Purnatva. I have got an inexhaustible bank account, I have forgotten, and that is why I still pray for it. The Lord here says that empty is there, it is yours. Then we don't need anything. Full guarantee is there, which we have forgotten. Atmanyeva Atmanatushtatsa. When the Lord says you are the custodian of this inexhaustible and immeasurable wealth of wisdom, that is called Purnatva. Inexhaustible. That is why in the Ishavasyopanishad, the Shanti mantra says, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Adaya, even if you take away that, it again is full. Inexhaustible. 75 years ago, our population was about 34 crores. Now we have about 135 crores, but still we have not imported air. So whether it is 35 crores or 135 crores, air is inexhaustible. We have found it. We don't need extra intelligence to know it. So what is inexhaustible we can conceive of now. Everyone, especially the aged one, will be able to recollect how small was our place and how now it is quickly populated. There is a shortage for everything, not air. Not for air, not for space. There will be so many such things, God's way. So we just, that means whatever I have deliberately, unknowingly, I am denying many things which is my own. So spiritual journey is nothing but to know this. I am the custodian, I am the owner, that is why it's called the Lord of the Universe, Almighty Lord of the Universe. That is how the word came, Almighty Lord of the Universe. So somehow we try to bring this, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purna. I am Purna, I am Purna, I am Purna. Then no desire can take me away. This is what the Lord says. And then how does it get expressed? He will be free from when Dukkeshu Anudvigyanas, Sukheshu Vikataspraha, Vitaraga Bhayakrodha, Stithadhir Munirupchate. One whose mind is not shaken by adversity, who does not hanker after happiness, who has become free from blind attachment, fear and anger, is indeed the Muni or sage of steady wisdom. So how does a man who has felt the fullness, how does he express himself? He is free from Dukkeshu Anudvigyanas, whose mind is not shaken by adversity. Sukheshu Vikataspraha, who does not hanker after. And then, who is free from Raga, Aya and Krodha. Attachment, anger, and fear. All of us are subjected to all these things, so we go back and find out. Yes, now we feel that is the one which prevents me from knowing the fullness inside. If I am always full, even when a situation comes, which I normally label it as negative, initially there will be a jar, but in the shortest possible time, it's alright. Dukkeshu Anudvigyanas, Sukheshu Vikataspraha, Vitaraga Bhayakrodha, Stithadhir Munirupchate. Beautiful. We have to do a lot of thinking and connect it with our own life. Attachment to a person, attachment to an object, attachment to a situation. Memories and anticipations. The other day we read. That is the one which colorizes this is adverse, this is okay, this is relative. Suppose I names. It is his will. It is very difficult, easy to say under a sattvic atmosphere. But in the sattvic atmosphere only we can absorb all these things, In the Rajasic and Tamasic we may not be here to hear this. But now he has given us an ambience, a conducive ambience where all these things can be stored for our contemplation and slowly integrating with our life by connecting to the various experiences he made us to come in contact. So, not shaken by the adversities, not elated by the so-called positive situations, free from attachment, fear, and anger. This is how the man of steady wisdom expresses. Then, from there, again to emphasize that, he keeps on repeating it. Yasarvatra navisneha, tattat prapti shubhashubha, navinandadi nadveshti tasya pratnya pradishtita. One who is everywhere unattached, same thing. Not pleased at receiving good, not vexed at evil, same thing. Tasya pratnya pradishtita. who is perfectly detached. That detachment means, how do you understand? There could be so many. We don't mean the textual meaning. Textual meaning is there. There should be a positive indifference from our side, then only we can feel detached. When an object comes, when a person comes, when a situation comes, if I become neutral, Adhyastha bhavam viparita vritto. Satveshu maitri gunishu pramodam drishteshu jiveshu krupakaratvam madhyastha bhavam viparita vritto. In viparita vritto, in adverse thing, I become neutral, madhyastha. Somehow I should be able to prove myself. Before giving in, before slipping, I should develop that neutrality. That means indifferent. How do you understand that? Somebody in a drunken state says something to us. He may even use abusive language. Do we react? We don't react. It doesn't affect us. If somebody says, he's not in his senses now, so you become indifferent. You are not responding. You are not taking it. So there are many instances where God enables us to see how we can become indifferent. We don't react. Another method is, even while reacting, we may have to react. We try to put ourselves in his shoes. That means we are now blaming somebody because we have seen only one part of it. We are not understood him fully. There is because God is in him also. God is in the person, God is in the object, God is in the situation. Sometimes they become violent. Even then we move away, that's all. Because our idea, we feel now, the more you think about how to become indifferent, indifference not because we hate anybody, indifference because we rise above everybody. When we are on the same plane, it is individual to individual. When we are on a higher stage, God is within me, God is within him. For some purposes, he is making him to do that, something like that. During our Sattvic period, we keep on pumping this idea into our brain. At that particular time, we will not. But suppose we do that, probably it will help us. Yes, sarvatra anabhisneha. Very easy to say, but difficult. We must. Anabhisneham without attachment. Yeah. Everywhere. Tattva prapti shubhashubha. Whatever happens, easy for us to immediately go to the request of God and go through the at least something will come, how he was subjected to go through and how he took everything lightly, positive. There was no grumbling, there was no complaint. So we pray to him. We pray to him, give us that. I sleep always. Anabhisnya. Sarvatra. Tattat prapti shubha shubha. Every day from morning till evening, everything won't be shubha. No? God will give shubha and ashubha both. Nabhinandati nadveshti. Na abhinandati. Na abhinandati means neither rejoices. Dveshti means not hates. Neither getting elated nor getting depressed. Such a state of man is called steady wisdom. Becoming positive. Becoming positive. Everything nice to. So, is there any simile or example to take and easily understand? The next one says, Yatha samharate chayam kurmanganiva sarvashaha indriyan indriyatebhyaha tasya prajna pratishtha. Just as like a tortoise drawing the livings, one can completely withdraw the senses from their sense objects. Such a man feels. So I am likely to lose immediately. Is this a positive indifference? Is this withdrawal? The tortoise, according to we have been told, according to what we understand, as soon as it feels danger, it immediately withdraws into its shell. Yes, it's it cannot do anything. It is touching thing. What it can do, the rock is the we have studied the tortoise. Whenever it senses some trouble outside, it withdraws itself within its shell. And nothing can harm it there. It knows when to withdraw, it knows when to come out. So we have to develop this capacity of the tortoise to withdraw into oneself and later come out. Yada samharate chayam kurmanganiva sarvashaha. Similarly, indriyan indriyatebhyaha. I must be able to immediately withdraw from the sense objects. My sense organs should be able to, what should not be seen, eyes will not see. What should not be heard, ears will not hear. What should not be tasted, tongue will not ask. That is the deepest question. Like that, immediately the sense organs are under control. Start thinking. This is how we land ourselves in trouble. Unknowingly, not that we want to land ourselves in trouble. Nobody wants that. But because at that particular moment we lose our control on the sense organs and the sense organs drive us away and put us in the ditch. And then when we try, next one, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. By somehow, self-denial, I may be able to ensure that I don't fall. But if I don't bring in the God dimension, the longing will not go away from my mind. For all practical purposes, I have saved myself. But still the inner craving, only that particular person will know, that inner craving can go only param drishtva. Only when I think about Allah, please don't touch me. Vayyandame sahyadayi venda jivida jivida. Din parikshanam tangan adiyanne avadillame avadillame. Beautiful bhajan. Normally sung by Mata Pradhan. Manasa vacha karmana nirantaram ninasthayikadu. Innittum ennodu kanivu kaattaan amantarandeva. There he says, Vayyandame sahyadayi. I'm tired. I cannot no longer. Why don't you stop all your tests on me? Nin parikshanam tangan adiyanne avadillame. I will not be able to stand your tests. That will only remove the rasam from me, the inner craving. Param drishtva nivartate, when one realizes. So not merely this outward control that I may be able to control for a moment, but the longing will be there. And then, yatatohyapi kaunteya purushatya vivaschitaha indriyani pramadhini haranti prasavam manah. The turbulent senses. O son of Buddhi, do violently snatch away the mind of even a man who is striving after perfection. So many years of penance, so many years of control, so many disciplines I can. Even then, the sense objects are so powerful, it can create a sense organ turbulent.
Nice way of saying it. Another thing was peace of mind was okay.
Keep thinking all these things come only because, as you said, the sense organs, when they are active, in touch with sense objects, all these cravings and so long as the craving or desire is there, we are away from him. So the distance between me and him gets widened when the sense organs take me away to the sense objects. So in her case, gradually, not that she was born like that, no. She had all the senses and she was able to know what the world is. And then finally, because probably God willed that in order to accelerate her progress towards him, he slowly shut off one by one and made her to dwell. Old life may, at times she may come, but what she was expressing, we were interpreting it as painful or something, but we don't know what was in her mind. Her sound, even when she comes for satsang, at times suddenly you hear a sound. We had interpreted that she might be having some pain, she's expressing. It could be. That is how taking it, everything is positive. It's good. It never struck to us. So here, yatatohyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha. Even a man of study, a man who has perfected, who feels he has perfected himself, even then he can be swayed by the sense objects. Suppose we are sitting contented here, you keep on saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this? You start beautifying it, you start glorifying it. Slowly, like this marketing technology now. You slowly get enticed. And a person of perfection, okay, it's already available by. So far, he has been leading a need-based life, not a desire-based life. But the desire is injected into him. However much he tries to obstruct it, he feels, I am impervious, I cannot be affected by all these things. I am full. But still somebody comes and says, you are not full. With this, you will become full. The wording is like that. We remember, many, 30, 40 years back, we happened to read a marketing technology, we happened to read one word. Dunlop tire. So simply, Dunlop is Dunlop. It strikes to us, because Dunlop is supposed to be the pilot, in this product. So you are reminded that is the best. The moment you read that, you get that is the best. So today we should go in for this Dunlop is Dunlop. So similarly, God has also is enticing us. Why he has? Through prompting various technologies which we name it as marketing technology. And he entices us, he attracts. He is want to test us. Somebody is doing so many things and telling about the glory and we follow it. So, yatatohyapi kaunteya purushasya vipashyataha indriyani pramadini. Pramadini is that. No? That is the word. Pramadini. Pramadini is turbulent. Because we don't have any idea about the Sanskrit language. Only because of repetitive hearing and because of its closeness to Malayalam, we were able to pick up. But certain words, when we try to understand it, so Pramadini means turbulent. Luckily, in Swami Chinmayananda's first edition of Bhagavad Gita, sometime in late 50s, word by word there is a that it helps us. Yatato because yatata of striving. He indeed, api even, purushasya man, vipashchitaha for the wise, indriyani the senses, pramadini turbulent, haranti carry away, prasabam manaha, violently. So it takes away, no? Because of its turbulent nature, enticing nature, attractive nature. So, and then, tani sarvani samyamya, yukta asida matparaha, vashehi yasyendriyani, tasya prajnavachya. So he says, the steadfast one, the man of ready wisdom, having controlled them all means what? Sense organs. Sits focused on me. It is not the military discipline, no, that we should always remind ourselves. A discipline born out of our commitment towards striving for his awareness. Not a discipline for itself.
Imposed.
No.
Natural.
No, maybe natural. But even then we must bring in, just like Nama chanting. Unless and until we bring the idea that we are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is making me to chant, Papa Brunsley says, even if you do it for 100 years, you will be like this. Because the purpose of chanting is to remember him. Similarly, bringing God dimension is a must. So when I start controlling, suppose I take vows to control my sense organs, I deny something to my sense organs. For example, silence. I will not talk. I will not eat today Ekadashi. So today I will not take. Or I will not cease. Normally, I want to go through my paper, I want to do something like that. Or I want to hear something. Like that, I put some restrictions throughout my 30 days in a month. One day, without informing anybody, silently. It is called samyama. It is helpful. But it is helpful only when we bring in. Because the energy is going to be dissipated through the sense organs, I want to conserve this for directing it towards remembering him, towards intensifying my desire to remember him. Pulling all my energy for remembering him. That is why Papa used to say in Mauna, it is not merely the verbal, vocal. It is the stilling of the mind. To clearly say that the steadfast, having controlled them all, control all the sense organs, sits focused on me as the supreme, then his wisdom is steady. That means when I take some vows, on that day, I must do more chanting, I must read some, remember some slokas, contemplate upon it. I must supplement, not merely with the outer control, I must supplement it with something by which I dwell on his remembrance intensely on that day. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य उदासीनमत्परः पश्यति यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा तिष्ठति. Then the most important thing, that is where yesterday we stopped. He has built up so many dimensions. Then suddenly, with all this I slip. I want to, but I slip. So here he says how this sliding down takes place. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगः संजायते कामः. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संघा संजायते कामः. कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. These two slokas that gives us the picture of the sliding down. How fast? Snake and ladder. From anger comes delusion. Thinking of sense objects, attachment to the misva. First step. From attachment rise desire to possess. From longing or possessiveness comes anger emerges. From anger comes delusion. And from delusion, loss of memory. I forget what I am. Everything that I have earned, everything I forget. From there, loss of memory. Memory here means not the memory that we think of. And because I lose my discriminative power, buddhinasha. It's a ruin of discrimination. From the ruin of discrimination, the person perishes. Once again, we will read Swami Ranganathanji's verse. It is very important. We don't want to cover the portion. We want somehow some. How do we fall down from in life? Suppose you visit a prison. You find a person there who has been arrested and put into the prison. What had the person done? He or she stole something from a shop. That is all. Now study how the person developed this tendency to steal. How he or she finally landed up in the jail. You will find these verses giving the answer. When you go on thinking over and over again about the sensory objects and finding them very attractive, then what happens? Sangastveshu upajaya. Mind develops an attachment to them. I like it. First I am only seeing it. Then I have already got glued to it mentally. Attached to it. Then what happened? I must possess it. That desire begins to come through that attachment. So first observing a thing, dwelling on it for a long time, then drawn by it, then to desire to possess, and if people obstruct it, anger will come from desire. If anybody obstructs my getting, then what happens? When krodha or anger comes, delusion comes. You forget your surroundings, forget your own individuality, your family background, everything is forgotten in that state. That is why in psychology it is said an angry man or woman is mad at the time of his or her anger. Temporary madness is called anger. You lose all bearing at all. When we read these stanzas, what came up in our mind was a video sent by somebody, very, very interesting. 2 videos. One, a boy, he was sitting on the footsteps of a river. Probably his mother must have been washing or taking bath. At that time, for playing, he used to have this cycle, what is it called? Cycle tire. Punctured cycle tire, they used to do that. Suddenly he saw 50 rupee note in the tire. Somehow, it got stuck. So he takes it and with that 50 rupees I will buy ice cream, this and that. So with that he runs towards the market. You are seeing what all attractive eatables are there, which he can buy every now and then. Suddenly he hears a sound where a boy was playing handball or football. That ball has gone and hit the glass tumbler. A vendor, an old woman was probably giving coffee or tea, selling coffee or tea. And she had on the table kept all these glass tumblers. This ball, when it hit, many of the glasses were broken and they fell down. And this lady, the higher position, this old lady, it is her livelihood that suddenly saw the boy. The boy, was shocked. I think she's going to beat me now. He was shocked. The lady came. Initially there was a shock. She did like this. And then she was able to reconcile. This boy, with 50 rupees note, was seeing this. Immediately he went shocked. He got half a dozen last time. And when she was sweeping the other side, without making her know that he is keeping, he kept it there and then came back and watched. The lady after sweeping saw in the same the glass tumbler tray, everything is there. So there are methods by which the desires also can be pulled up. So when we hear all these things during our sattvic period, it will help us. Not that we are simply carried away by it. So whatever struggle we do, it won't go in vain. The goodness in him suddenly started and it overtook the desire for ice cream or any eaters. Another one is one boy who was having a chapper, prawn chapper. He was in the railway station. However much he tried to set right the chapper, finally he broke. He got disgusted. Suddenly he saw a family coming where a boy was there, and that boy's shoe, I think they had got it shiny. And every now this boy is polishing it. The other boy is seeing this. The bell rang, train is approaching. Immediately, everyone was in a hurry to get into the compartment. And this boy, when he was about to get into the compartment, the platform was on the lower side. Suddenly, because of the rush, one shoe, the new shoe, which he has been pampering, suddenly it slipped from his leg. It fell down. And by the time he was about to get in, the train started moving. This boy started seeing. Initially, he thought, he is not. Then he knew, like me, we did not say, he makes the video person who was taken, he makes us to think, what happened now, you watch. The boy For a second, he was tempted. But then he remembered the pangs, the suffering felt by the other boy. He took the shoe and started running towards the moving compartment. The boy was stretching his hand. By that time, it was galloping the speed. So finally, this boy threw the shot so that he can hold it. It came very near. That face, it's still remember. He says, "Ash." The other boy, when he saw this, he would blush. Lot of values. God is teaching us through that simple video. The goodness is there. Peace Pilgrim always used to say how deep it is. Goodness is there. God is there. Goodness is godliness. So, though desire comes and takes us, though this sliding down is there, you should also know that God who is inside us, He will do that. That samskara, where does He bring the samskara, The samskara by which He is pulled up from a tempting situation. How did it work? Think about it. So, it is not a negative thing. Whatever we have heard, yes. That's what it came to us. This possessiveness, the desire to enjoy, everything comes there. But at the right moment, the sliding down can be stopped. We must know this nature of mind, then we can fight against it and build up a more healthy and stable personality. So these two verses tell how even good people do evil things and suffer various maladies thereafter. There we stop. We will just read out the next one. Ragadvesha viyuktaisya Vishayan indriyaishchara Atmavaishya vidheyatma Prasadam adhigachati. Ragadvesha viyukta. What is that? Free from attraction and repulsion. But the self-controlled person, moving among sense objects, with the senses under one's restraint, free from attraction and aversion, attains to tranquility. These two children teach us that. The only thing is, them as well as we appreciate that. We don't see the God dimension, that is, we are not in a position to sustain it. Initially, God expresses through goodness, but there should be a constant effort on my part to know that goodness is godliness. If goodness is not related to godliness, it remains at the individual level. We appreciate, we become grateful, we become joyous when we repeat. But it doesn't leave any deep impact in my life. That video is very nice. But unless and until I go through it and say, see, goodness is there, and goodness is godliness. What is godliness? Absence of otherness. That boy did not see the other old lady as another. So her, when she knows she has to live with the coffee making or tea making with those glasses, she is not in a position to buy. She cannot afford to buy steel tumblers. That is why this glass tumbler we bought. All these things in a flash, that boy. Suppose when I am seeing it, immediately I start building up. The boy identified himself completely with the old. The same, this boy identified with that other boy completely. So there was no otherness. That is called godliness. So godliness is not a big word. Godliness is absence of otherness. Becoming one with, identifying oneself with the other, totally without. We do that, but it is out of attachment. Here there is a self-interest. Identifying, a mother identifies herself with the child. But that is attachment. But here it is not attachment. It is the absence of otherness. After that, the boy will have nothing to do with this. And the first one which we explained, the video, see, even the boy did not want that lady to know that he has placed. So he is not after appreciation, he is not after any acknowledgement or patting or, and he is enjoying it. You can see the face. And she looks around. Nobody is seeing. God has given, no doubt. So, Ragadvesha Viyuktaisu Vishayan Indriyascharan Atmaveshya Vidheyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. But a self-controlled person moving among sense objects with the senses under some sense, once restrained and free from attraction and aversion, attains to tranquility. The Gita does not want us to leave the sensory world and go to lead an ascetic life in some corner. Not at all. Live in the world, live in the midst of sensory objects, there is no harm. But do something to strengthen yourself against the energies that have a tendency to pull you down. So Raga, Dvesha, when you give up the Raga and Dvesha, attachment and aversion is called Raga and Dvesha. Vishayan Indriya Charan, with your sensory system moving freely among sensory objects. Charan means moving about freely. One who is self-possessed himself, Atmaveshya. Then, Prasadam Adhigachati. One who has achieved self-mastery, Videyatma, such a person attains real peace, tranquility, serenity. That is called Prasadam. Attachment and aversion. Ragadvesha. Like and dislike. Like and dislike. So prasadam is a big word. Normally the moment we hear prasadam, especially those who have been connected with Ananda, eat it. Yeah, only. Everything we add the word prasadam. It's a noble idea, everything is prasadam. But we only attach to these eatables. We don't go beyond that. If you happen to use only prasadam, you will find. Prasadam, which is, he says, you don't know how we derive the word. Here it says to peace. Peace. And Mogam Prasadam I do something present. Present that will do. Prasadam. Prasadam is, the moment you hear the word Prasadam, there is a positive emotion there. Let us not. This is symbolically what if, when the lunatic is taught not to wield the whip and strike himself, he is immediately saved from the sorrows of the whip. Similarly, here, when a mind is trained in these two aspects, to live in self-control, to move among the sense objects with neither an attachment nor an aversion to them, the disturbances and agitation of the mind caused because of the sense are completely brought under control. This condition of the mind is called tranquility or peace or silence. Please think about it. What is prasadam?
Krishna discourses of the basic prasad is mercy of God.
Sir?
Mercy of God.
Mercy.
Mercy of God.
Mercy of God. Everything is, we have the tranquility. Here it is very clear. Similarly, here when a mind is trained in these two aspects, to live in self-control, to move among sense objects with neither an attachment nor an aversion, the disturbances and agitation of the mind caused because of the sense enchantments are all immediately brought under control. This condition of the mind is called tranquility or peace, prasad. This is symbolically represented in the sweet distribution after every puja in our religions, which is also called among the Hindus as prasada bhog, meaning that one who has during the ritual practiced perfect self-control and God contemplation comes to enjoy, as a result of his action, a tranquility in the mind which is termed as spiritual grace or divine grace, Ishvara Prasada. So prasada is the mental purification because that mind is considered as pure, which has in it the least sense disturbances felt.
He will not take it.
Yeah.
He will distribute everybody. He doesn't take it. That is the prasada.
According to Jaina philosophy, what is offered, their concept is totally different. Of God, totally different. But they also worship. Each Tirthankara, there are about 24 Tirthankaras. Tirthankaras have reached their stage. So no puja is offered to the Tirthankara. But each Tirthankara has got a, there is a some other word is there. So they do puja to that. Padmavati Devi, Jalamani Devi. So Ashtavidha Archana puja, when it is performed, Ashtavidha Archana, every day they have got a feast system. And where the prasada, the sweet also will be offered at the end. And after that, with whom you were working, that person will come out. Next is our office. He will straight away come with their sweets and distribute everybody there. He will not take even a grain. Nor will it go back to the people who have prepared. So one day, he is blunt. So one day he distributed only this, what do you call it, dried, mundiri? Kismis. So kismis. Then in order that they should hear, people who have prepared, he said, this time no sweets, because it doesn't go back to them. So they said, they got offended, they came back and said, no, it's not like that. and the next day they again started preparing. Then I asked again, why do you offend them? Why every day, prasada is supposed to be changed, in order that we don't feel the same thing coming. He thought like that only. Why are you misinterpreting like this and wounding them? He says, no, this is the philosophy, Gandhi, but they don't understand. I want them to understand. It is not that they will get back whatever they have offered. Whatever has been offered to the Devi, it should be distributed to. Then only it becomes prasada. And that day he used to say that. Suppose under the name of this prasada, I prepare and I eat. We are of course a little better. We distribute and we also eat. That's all. So next he again explains it. Tomorrow we'll see. Prasade sarvadukhanam. Hanirasya upajayate. Prasanna chedaso khyashu buddhi parivadishtade. So we have tomorrow one more.
If you don't give prasada, if you don't give something, if you don't prepare prasada,
Somebody told that God starts having a prasada, nobody will offer prasada.
100%. Suppose you bring it and give it to him. Because we are safe, we know 100% he will not take it. But there was one incident in Guruvayur when the priest, Mershandi, when he was absent, we were told this. So he was not there on a particular day. So he told his child, who has been witnessing all these things, to go and do puja. He may not know the puja vidhi, doesn't matter. So he went there, as usual, he tried. So when the prasada was, when Nevedya was left, and he in his own way, not mantra, he said, you take it, Vijay father. So then nothing was going down. Given up to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So he started crying. Probably I don't know how to do puja, that is why you got offended, But my father will definitely take me to class if you don't take it. And because of that bhakti, the Ishtadevata came in that form, the same form, and took the whole thing. So when it came out, naturally, nobody will get prasada. So they reported to his father. So he said, why should you eat the whole thing? Should you not give them? I have not taken anything. God will never take, he said. You are bluffing, you are now telling me lies. And he was about to beat him and punish him. At that time, from inside, yes, I took it because of his bhakti. You were only offering it as a ritual. He offered it as the form of his bhakti. So there are many instances. He says that in some other instance also. So like that also can happen. So tomorrow we will see what is meant by prasadam elaborately in the Bhagavan brings it these two words again and again. So let us try to understand this. Unless and until we bring the God dimension behind what is happening, we may be able to pull ourselves up, we may be able to control by not slipping down, but if it is not supplemented by, followed by, supported by God remembrance, real purpose will not be served. So that is the cardinal message today. Because individual to individual, we feel grateful, we appreciate people when somebody does something. We honestly feel, not for the sake of appreciation, but it doesn't stay with us. If it has to stay with us, that is why even after seeing a good movie, even after reading a good novel, even after reading a good biographical sketch, why we are not able to live up to that? We are seeing it as an individual, Even Papa, Mataji, we will say as an individual only. We are not seeing the God dimension, They are wonderful, They are generous, they are selfless. All those things we say, we only see it from the individual standpoint. But when we don't bring the higher dimension, we will not be able to hold on. So that is a powerful message we have taken, that all these things can be possible. Sliding down can be arrested. But at the same time, we should know it is God's grace that has helped me. I would have slipped, but at a particular moment, He pulled me up. In order to make my faith in Him more and more firm, He made me to feel that I am slipping down. Suddenly He came and pulled me up. And I was saved. So like that, we have to develop the samskara in us. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.